Hello and welcome to ABW Loan Watch for the 1st of March 2021. That last bit was completely unnecessary. Right, first player we're going to do is Joe Willock. He's having a half decent loan there. There he is, number 28 in the middle. Joe played his fourth game in a row. His first game was on the right wing for Newcastle, but his last three have all been in central midfield with John-Jules Shelvey and ex-Gooner Isaac Hayden. Newcastle drew 1-1 at home to Wolves, and Joe played the whole game. He got a 7.1 rating. He had a 90% pass success rate and had one shot on goal. Newcastle are still one place above the relegation zone, but hopefully it's going to come together for those because they've got some decent players. A few players out injured, but fingers crossed. I don't really want to see Newcastle go down. There's plenty of other teams I dislike immensely. Right, on to the next player. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I've actually put down their squad numbers on my bits of paper. He's squad number 30, shirt number 30. Is that the same thing? Not sure. Anyway, West Brom won 1-0 at home to Brighton. That was a contentious game with a dodgy penalty and rubbish refereeing as usual. But let's go and watch Match of the Day for that. So they beat Brighton 1-0 at home after a run of 7 league games without a win. Fat Sam's doing it. Mainsley played in the attacking midfield position for the second game in a row and got a rating of 6.73 with an 80% pass success rate, with 5 passes not going to their teammate. That's not too bad. Ex-Gooner Kyle Bartley scored the only goal of the game. West Brom have now got 5 points from the last 3. From the last 3 games, but are still 9 points from safety. I think they're knackered. This could be the first time that Big Sam has got a team relegated from the Premier League. That is Sam Allardyce's eighth managerial role with a Premier League team. He's managed nearly half of the Premier League season. Nope. League table. Nope. 20 teams. That's the one. Take the bits of that were correct, put them in the right order, and then you'll have a sentence that makes sense. Anyway, talking of making sense, number 5, Konstantinos Mavropanos on loan at Stuttgart. And there's quite a few, considering we've only got probably 15 players that play regularly out on loan. The number of Arsenal derbies are quite a lot. So this is another Arsenal loanee derby. Mavs Stuttgart beat Kolas Schalke. Thank you very much for that, Josh. Told me how to say it phonetically. They smashed them 5-1. Wow, that is horrendous. That is their second biggest defeat of the season because Schalke lost 8-0 to Bayern Munich at the first game of the season, I think it was. Somewhere around then. Oh, dear, forgot to breathe. That's not good, is it? Mav, Kola and Mustafi all played the entire game. Mavropanos got a 7.7 rating in the right-hand side of the back 3 as usual. Kolasinac scored to make it 3-1 and got a 6.6 rating, and Mustafi got a 5.7 rating. And if you see the papers, I say no one looks at papers anymore. If you read the newspapers online, apparently Mustafi and Kolasinac are behind a coup where they want to get rid of Christian Gross. Now, you can't really blame them for that because he's an awful manager. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. He dropped Mustafi after Mustafi got man of the match. And so, yeah, Bundesliga bastards back in full effect. Lovely. Stuttgart are now on a decent run of 3 wins, a draw and a loss from their last 5 league games and are still 10th, but have been for the last 9 games. I looked at that on Transfer Market. Again, if they're wrong, blame them. Stuttgart, no matter what the result, have been 10th for 9 games in a row. Kind of got a touch of the Arsenals there because no matter what we do, we're either 11th, 10th or 9th. We've been like that for the last dozen games, possibly. I don't know. I've not looked it up. You go and have a look it up if you're that bothered. Schalke have won 1 league game all season, and with 11 league games to go this season, they are probably going down as they are 9 points from safety. Oh, I've got another picture here. There you go. There's Mustafi and Kolasinac. People, for those not looking at the pictures, Kolasinac is walking away with his head down, and Mustafi has his back to us looking at Mustafi, looking at Kolasinac going, "What are we going to do, governor? We're knackered." Luckily, Mustafi's only on there on a 6-month contract. And when they go down, he'll be off. Anyway, so they have... Where was I up to before you interrupted me rudely? Probably going down as they are 9 points from safety and have only managed 9 points all season. Schalke, I finally managed to say your name correctly. and I can only do it another 9 times. That's if there's 9 more weeks. Who knows? I don't know. I only live here. Next picture. Now, this is an actual picture of the game. Matteo Guendouzi, number 8, Hertha Berlin. Another disaster of a loan, again. Matteo came on for the last 37 minutes as Berlin lost yet again. This time 2-0 away at Wolfsburg. He got 15 out of 18 passes correct. That's 83%. And a 6.03 rating. Berlin's last league win was on the 2nd of January. And since then they have lost 7 and drawn 2, scored 3 goals in that 9-game run. But in those 9 games, they've let in 18. Ooh, that's not good. They are 15th and only above Arminia Bielefeld. Not sure that's how you say it. On goal difference, and Mainz 0-5. And 2-3-4 Fumpf. Fumpf. 0 Fumpf by 1 point. They are in trouble. And as also, someone sent me a tweet saying that the Hertha Berlin manager has said that Guendouzi is very immature and he is, in footballing terms, he's just going through puberty. So there you go. Poor old Lucas Torreira may well get himself a La Liga Champions medal, but read this lot, so I will. Number 5, Lucas Torreira. Lucas came on for the last 8 minutes in the Champions League 1-0 loss away at the Chelsea Scum and got a 6.1 rating. I don't know if you can get that in 8 minutes, but never mind, I don't make the rules. Then yesterday he got the last 7 minutes in Atletico's 2-0 away win over Unai Emery's Villarreal. You remember him, don't you? There you go. Good evening. He got a 6.3 for that, so he managed 16 minutes in this week's pointless loan. What's the point of just coming on as a sub? Absolutely useless. We're meant to be sending this who's worth more money. Oh, they're never going to buy him. In his last 10 games for Atletico, he has come on as a sub and played less than 10 minutes 5 times, and the other times were all less than 45 minutes. Anyway, Atletico are 5 points ahead of Barcelona in La Liga. With a game in hands, they look like they should still, hopefully, because they are my Spanish team, win the league for the first time since 2013-14. And that picture, he is wearing neon green. I think it's kind of neon green. He looks like he's about to do, I don't know, an overhead kick. I'm sure he wasn't, but I couldn't find a picture of him playing against either of those teams. Maybe because there aren't any. Okay, next player. William Saliba. Plenty of pictures here of him because he's one of the most popular players at his side. Hold on. That picture looks quite small. I'm going to make it bigger. Oh dear. You see what I've done there, don't you? Luckily, the people at home can't see what I've done. The people watching can see what I've done. I typed in William Saliba versus Rennes because that's who they played. And automatically, the picture I saved was of when he was playing for Saint Etienne because they play in green. Oh dear. Anyway, pretend you haven't seen that and we'll get on with it. Number 18, William Saliba. So made that there, type that. Played, this is a little bit of facts for you. Saliba last played for Arsenal under-23s on the 18th of December after a run of 4 wins in a row, of which he played 3 of them, letting in 2 goals in those 4 games. After he left, we won the next game, drew the next 2, and then got smashed in the next 3, conceding 12 goals in the last 5 games. Anyway, back to his time in France. Nice went to Rennes, which I've got the right 50% of the teams there right, on Friday night and won 2-1 after a run of 3 losses in a row. Saliba played the whole game and got a rating of 5.9, but he got a big red E above his name on who scored, and I think that implies that his error led to their goal. Who knows? No one watches the Farmers League, only Chris, and as Chris won't watch this, I'll get away with it. He made 1 tackle and had an 82% pass success rate. Nice are now 9th. Right. I'm not sure what picture we got up here. Could that be him? I'll bring the picture up. It's not. It's Ben Sheaf, isn't it? Right, we'll leave Ben on while we talk about Jordi Osei-Tutu. Jordi missed Cardiff's 2-1 win at Bournemouth and also missed their 1-1 draw at Middlesbrough with a hamstring injury. He has now missed 25 league games in a row. They are now 8th and top of the form table in the Championship. Boo. Here we go. The appropriate picture for the appropriate player. Number 14, Ben Sheaf, Coventry City. Ben came on for the last 25 minutes in Coventry's 1-0 away loss to Swansea in midweek and got a 6.2 rating and played in defensive midfield. And in their other game, he was an unused sub as they drew 1-1 at Blackburn. Coventry are still 20th in the Championship. Yeah, I think they might be going down. To be close, there's a lot of fighting and rubbish teams at the bottom of the Championship. Coventry might go down. Who knows? I don't know, because if I knew, I'd put money on it. All right, couldn't find a decent picture for Matt Smith. So there's a picture of him coming on as a sub. No idea what game it was. And it looks like Odo from Star Trek Deep Space Nine is standing in the background. The bloke's about 9 foot tall and very slim. Bless him. Matt Smith, number 18 for Charlton. Matt got a 6.0 rating as he came on in the last 5 minutes in their 2-1 home their 2-1 home loss to Burton Albion on Tuesday. That's not good. Charlton are on a bit of a roll. And then on Saturday, Matt came on again as a sub at half-time and got a 5.8 in a 3-0 home loss to Blackpool. That's terrible. Talking of Blackpool, another Arsenal loanee, Daniel Ballard, plays for Blackpool. He is number 26. If anybody had that on their card, mark it off. Anyone's got a line or a full house, shout at the top of your voice and wave your knickers in the air. He played the whole game for Blackpool at centre-back and got a 7.3 rating. Ballard's having a decent time there. Ballard's Blackpool only played one game this week as their other game was against Doncaster on Tuesday, which was postponed. And that would have been another Arsenal loanee derby if it had been played, and if Ballard would have played, and if Tyreece John-Jules would have played. That's a lot of ifs, a lot of buts, and a hell of a lot of maybes, and none of them come through. Anyway, back to Matt Smith. His Charlton are now 12th in League One. And Daniel Ballard's Blackpool are 13th. More mid-table nonsense. Oh, here you go. I had a picture of him. What's this? Oh, there you go. That's Daniel Ballard. Oh, I did that tut thing. I'm very bad. That's Daniel Ballard at the back there in orange, leaning over, getting a tackle in on a... Who did they play? They only played one game. So that would have been against Charlton. And I don't know who that is playing for Charlton, but it's not Matt Smith. Right, on to the next picture. This is picture number 11. A little bit here about Tyreece John-Jules while you look at the magnificent Harry Clarke there, up in the air like an angry salmon. Number 19, Tyreece John-Jules. He's on loan at Doncaster in League One. Tyreece is still out with a torn muscle injury and missed his team's 2-1 home loss to Ipswich. Doncaster haven't won in 5 and have dropped from 4th to 6th. Another one of our loanees. See, this would have been another Arsenal loanee derby. It should have been Tyreece John-Jules. He should have played against Ballard's Blackpool in midweek. And at the weekend, he should have played against Mark McGuinness and Ipswich. But they didn't, because Mark McGuinness didn't play and Tyreece was injured. Anyway, as I just said, Mark McGuinness didn't play for Ipswich in this game and also missed their midweek game when Ipswich beat Hull City 1-0. Then Ipswich manager Paul Lambert, which is the reason why I support Borussia Dortmund, because he was playing for them when they won the European Cup, left at the weekend by mutual agreement, even though Ipswich had won back-to-back games this week. Now, that's a little bit weird. I don't know why Mark was out for both games. And I don't know why Ipswich would get rid of their manager. Anyway, what do I know? Very little. Thank you very much. So, waffling on there about players that didn't play. You didn't want to hear that? No. There we are. Here's have some player that did play. Harry Clarke, number 2. You've got quite a few players out on loan that are number 2. Mark McGuinness is number 2. And Jordi Osei-Tutu is a number 2. Back to Harry Clarke. Harry played twice for Oldham this last week. He got 90 minutes in the 1-0 home loss to Barrow. And also got the full 90 minutes in the 3-1 away win at Carlisle. He got a 7.6 rating for the Barrow game and a 7 rating for the Carlisle game. Oldham are now 15th. That's a half-decent loan for him. I'm quite happy about that. Now, James Olayinka, number 7, Southend United. He missed Southend's 3-1 win at Bristol Rovers. No, I see Rovers. I think Bristol. That's very bad of me. Forest Green Rovers. And also missed their 0-0 home draw with Salford. Southend are finally out of the relegation zone in 22nd place. Don't have any pictures of him because he didn't play. Another standard photo of when Joseph Olowu was playing for Arsenal in the reserves against, I think that's Chelsea. I don't know. Looks like a decent player. He's not having a good time of it. He's number 22. He's on loan at Wealdstone in the Conference, or the National League as it's known now, but it'll always be the Conference to me. Joe played the whole game as Wealdstone drew 0-0 at home to Eastleigh, but wasn't included in their 4-1 away loss to Wrexham. No idea why. Nobody seems to care. There was no photos. Wealdstone are now 19th in the Conference. There's 24 teams in the Conference, I think. But the bottom team went bankrupt. Then it's Barnet. But luckily, for Barnet fans, there's no relegation from the Conference this season because the National League North and South have been suspended because of COVID. And so they're safe. Anyway, no one cares about Wealdstone. Even if Wealdstone fans were listening, if you are, say hello. But they're not, so we won't. We'll move on. And then end this loan watch with a little bit of happiness. Look at that. The man is over the moon. 6'5", number 24, Zex Medley, who is on loan at Kilmarnock, known as Killy to the locals. Zech scored the equaliser as Killy got a 1-1 home draw with Dundee United. He got an Opta rating of 7.1. Lucky for Killy, the team below them and the team above them both lost, but they are still in danger of relegation. So, yeah, what a better way to end this week's loan watch than with a happy Zex Medley jumping up in the air. 6'5". Look at him. He's number 24. Did I say that? He looks so happy. That's really, really good. Well, I hope you enjoyed this loan watch. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go to Gooners Pod, give them a thumbs down. If you're not subscribing, people say consider subscribing. Don't consider. None of that's considering nonsense. Just do it. And I'm going to go back to this screen there, which I made myself. I stole it from a website that has Arsenal shirts. I took all the pictures of the shirts. Isn't that lovely? If you're at home, listening, on the toilet, in the bath, on the tractor, on the way to work, I don't know, whatever you're doing, thank you very much. And we will be back on Tuesday with a podcast. It's going to be me and Carl and Mike from the Gooners Pod. And if any of my lot can turn up, then there might be another one. Or if you're free, let me know, because God knows we need the people. So that's it. Goodbye.